It's so nice to see so many familiar faces, and it's equally nice to see so many new faces, so thank you for joining us. Absolutely. I hope I get a chance to speak with each of you over the 2 days. My name is Sarah Indewey. I'm ArtSci 01, and I'm the Manager of Volunteer Relations and Reunions. And today, my colleague, Maryanne, Wainman, and myself are going to tell you about the Queen's Alumni Volunteer Opportunities Directory. So, the Volunteer Opportunities Directory is housed on the Alumni Relations website, and it allows you to post, share, and apply for volunteer opportunities at Queen's. Additionally, you can submit general interest in volunteering for future roles. We also have a wealth of content paired with this system that includes things like volunteer handbooks, toolkits, templates, suggested reading material, and more. And we're actually recording the sessions at AVS, our friend in the back here, and we'll be posting the sessions online within this resource. So thank you for that. And just before we get going, I just want to thank a few people who've helped take this concept to reality over the past year and a bit. So the Queen's University Alumni Association Board was very supportive in the infancy stages of developing this concept. So thank you so much to them for their support. Also, our staff partners at Queen's have been really helpful in sharing their wisdom, their expertise, and aligning this resource with current volunteer programming. Our own Advancement Technical Services colleagues were able to take this concept and actually build the thing. So kudos to them for taking this idea and making it a reality. They built the interface, which actually talks to the alumni database, which for some techie folks, that's really cool. And for the others, it's a good thing. And lastly, all of those who helped us test and provide feedback on the system. We were able to make tweaks and change things along the way. And it's at the point where we're launching it to you today. So the themes for Alumni Volunteer Summit include recruitment and development, which is why it's a great opportunity to launch this resource here to this audience. As volunteer leaders, you will be able to leverage this as a source for recruitment and development of your own volunteer needs. Additionally, you'll be able to drive your volunteer teams to the orientation and training material that will be housed online. And all of that is fluid. We hope to work with you to adjust the material online as your own volunteer programs evolve. And I hope many of you will be familiar with this slide because you helped us create it at the last Alumni Volunteer Summit. This is our vision for volunteering at Queen's, and it's our guiding light for engaging volunteers in the work of the university. We are committed to living these words, and something like the Volunteer Opportunities Directory takes a step towards fulfilling this commitment. With that, I'm sure you're anxious to actually see it. I'm going to turn things over to Maryanne, who'll take you on a tour of the system.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much. So in just a moment, we're going to watch a very brief video about the directory, but first I'll just introduce myself for those who don't know me. My name is Maryanne. I work in the Volunteer Relations Unit with Sarah, and I actually started here about 4 years ago, just when I graduated from Queen's. I'm an ArtSci 10 grad, and I started in the branches unit, so I met a number of you when I first started there as an intern. I then moved into events, and now for the past 2 years I've been working in volunteer relations, and I am absolutely thrilled to be standing here before you today to talk about the Volunteer Opportunities Directory, because this has been such a fun and exciting project to work on. But without further ado, we will show you a brief video and hopefully get very excited about this. So. Our colleagues in marketing helped to create this, and we were just all jumping up and down with excitement when we saw it. We just love the music. It makes you kind of want to dance. So I hope that helped to answer a few questions about the directory and how it will work. But we're just going to now take you through a very quick walkthrough of the site and how it will actually work. So as Sarah has mentioned already, it will be housed on the main Alumni Relations webpage. So when you come to the Alumni Relations site, you just click on the Volunteer tab on the far side there, and then it will take you to this home page. And here you have a few different options. So if you scroll down, first, you will have the option to check out the volunteer job board. And so this is a place where there will be postings for current volunteer roles at Queen's. And we'll dig into that in a little bit more depth in just a moment. But for now, I'll just keep going through some of the other things you'll have the ability to do. So next, as Sarah mentioned, you can also submit general interests online. So if you were to check out the volunteer job board and you didn't see a position that was quite right for you, this is a way that you can tell us more about your general volunteering interests. And again, we'll look at that in a bit more depth in a second. Then, as Sarah mentioned, we have also developed a resource center, and this has tools and training documents for specific volunteer roles, as well as higher level opportunities for enrichment and leadership development. There's information about Alumni Volunteer Summit, but you're all here already, so clearly you already had that information. Then we have the option to submit a volunteer opportunity to be posted on the directory, and this is a very simple online form, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. So Sarah, if you wouldn't mind going to the Resource Center first, I'll just quickly show you what this looks like. So this is something that we're really hoping will be helpful for you and for your volunteer teams. First, as I mentioned, Sarah, if you could click through to the volunteer toolkit. In the toolkit, we've tried to put together a number of different training documents, orientation materials, things that would be needed for specific volunteer roles, and so now it's all in one central one-stop shop, so we hope that this will be very helpful, and we are definitely open to suggestions and ideas, so if you can think of something that really should be housed here, it would be helpful, please let us know, because we will update this on an ongoing basis. Then we have the Volunteer Learning Library, which, as I mentioned, this is more high-level engagement and enrichment opportunities that is not necessarily tied to specific volunteer roles, but that is of interest overall. So we've put together some tips for Queen's volunteers in particular. Then further down the page, we've also put together a suggested reading list. Yes, so sort of a reading library, if you will, for those who work with volunteer teams. So these are suggested ebooks that you can order online. It's very easy to do. And these are some really great resources from everything from recruitment to succession planning. And there's even one here about running an effective mentoring program. And again, we will continue to add to this resource library as we become aware of new resources. And if you have suggestions, please let us know. Then in addition, at the very bottom of here, sorry Sarah, if you wouldn't mind scrolling down, then we've just put together some suggested other online resources these are free online resources, websites to do with volunteerism, other ways to get engaged, things like the Canadian Code for Volunteer Involvement. I don't know how many people here are familiar with the Canadian Code, but you may have noticed there's a little pamphlet in your registration packages about this. And this is a framework for working with volunteers and volunteer teams. And Queen's, if you didn't already know this, there's a note on the pamphlet in your packages, but Queen's has just recently, within the last year, become an adoptee of the code. And as part of our commitment to upholding these standards for volunteer engagement, we have committed to making this available easily to all university staff and volunteers. So I would please encourage you to check this out as part of the Resource Center. And finally, I'll just walk you through one more thing on this side. Actually, if you can, go up to the Celebrating Volunteers page. Yes, perfect. So this really is all about you. We've put together a special page on the directory that is to celebrate current volunteers, and we really want to showcase the amazing work that goes on here at Queen's. And we've put together some, yes, this is a great photo here of our incoming QUAA president, having a little fun at a previous AVS, I think. So at the top here we have a slideshow that will actually be that will actually be featured at the awards gala tomorrow evening. So if you're attending, you'll get to see it there, but you can also go online and watch it here. And there's also some profiles of some of your peers here. So I'd encourage you to go on and check it out. And if you would like to be featured on here, or if you know of someone who you think would be a good candidate to be featured.
I'm 5 years younger, thank you. I'm 96, I'm a 91.
So yeah, just let us know, and we'll be updating this on an ongoing basis. So, and now I'll just quickly walk you through what the steps would be if you were actually interested in applying to a role on the directory. If we go to the job board, as I said, this is where you can see a listing of current volunteer roles at Queen's, and we are hoping that this will continue to grow and expand over the coming months. As you can see right now, we already have a number of roles posted from all over the university. As we have stuff from athletics, we just recently got a role posted from graduate studies, which we're very excited about, branches, reunions. Thanks, we have one from the Queen's International Center as well for a volunteer host for incoming international students. So there's a real breadth of opportunities here, and like I said, we're hoping this will just continue to evolve and grow over the coming months. So definitely please come back and continue to check and encourage your volunteer teams to do this as well. So if you were interested in one of these roles, you would simply click on the title, and then it gives you a bit more information about what is actually required for this particular position. If it looked like something that was of interest to you, then you would simply scroll down to the bottom and click Apply. And then you'll just be taken to a very simple online form where you fill in your name, your information, and anything else that you'd wish to share about your application. When you click Apply, you will then receive a confirmation email saying that you have applied, and at the same time, whoever the staff contact is for that particular role will get an email notifying them that someone has applied. So then it's just a matter of waiting for any follow-up with that staff person as to next steps for your application. Yep.
Is that staff person in alumni relations, or in your case, you're using a booster club member? Is that someone over in athletics?
It would be, yes.
So would be someone
in athletics. Yeah. So whoever is listed as each of these, because it's a university-wide resource, it will be people from all across the university. Yeah. Yes.
This is for a committee, for example, from a branch. Is there any ability to customize the application to say, do I want a resume or then answer this kind of question? Is there ability to do that?
You mean if you were submitting a role to be posted on the directory?
If I'm the committee chair, so if I'm, I want people to apply to one of my positions, but I want them to answer a question or submit a resume. Is there an ability to do that?
I think it's great that we're in the early stages. We still have some flexibility and fluidity in modifying things. So if there's something that would be really helpful for the Toronto branch, we'd like to take that and see if we can make it happen. So if we could connect and see specifically what might need to be included, submitting details or documents, we can definitely look into that.
Right.
Yeah, and that's a really good transition, because Sarah, if you wouldn't mind going back to the main page, I'll just quickly show you what the process would look like for, actually, if you can just go to submit a volunteer opportunity, or there. Yep, no, that's okay. No, oh yes, actually, yeah, that's perfect. Yes. So if you were interested in submitting a role, if you run a volunteer committee or you work with a volunteer team and you would like to submit a role for the directory, it's a very simple online form. You fill in your information, a start and a stop date for the role. Then you're going to be asked to fill in some further information about the role, which is essentially that position description that you saw when we clicked through to look at that other position. So I would definitely encourage you, and actually, Sarah, if you wouldn't mind scrolling down to the very bottom. So you were asking if there's the opportunity to ask for additional information. So we've actually included a box, sorry, if you can scroll it just a little bit. Yes, additional information here. This is where if there is anything else that you require for the role, you can feel free to write in anything that's required. So please send a resume to, and include your email address so that someone would know that in addition to applying, they would need to also send that. So that adds a little bit of flexibility, but if there's other ways that we can certainly work with you on that. So, and I would encourage you, if you think this is a good idea, I please talk to your staff partner about how we can make this work for you. We really want this to be something that is useful to you and something that will help to create greater engagement with volunteers in many areas of the university. And I think most people, sorry, I'm just going to pause for a sec because I think most people that had to go have now left. But if you are one of the featured alumni at Grad Bash, you could please take your leave. I think there are taxis waiting for you. Yes.
I'm just taking my notes.
And now I'll just, as these folks are leaving, I'll just show you one more quick thing. As I said before, if you can go to the online interest submission form. Yes. So if you didn't find a particular role that was of interest to you, you also have the opportunity to submit your general interests online. And so this, again, it's a very simple form to fill in, basic information, and then you can select from this menu of interests. And if one of these is not the right one, then we also have the option to select other interest, and you can tell us more in that text box at the bottom about what your other interest is. And we're really excited about this because this is going to provide us with an opportunity to centrally house, have a repository of information on what people are interested in, so that when opportunities come up, we have a ready-made database and a ready-made resource to be able to reach out to those people that are interested and have particular skill sets. So this is something that we can share this information with you as volunteer leaders. If there's a particular role in your branch or your reunion committee or whichever volunteer organization you represent, we are happy to share this information with you as required. So please just, again, talk to your staff partner if this is something that you're interested in, and please encourage fellow volunteers and your volunteer team members to contribute to this as well. Yeah. Oh, Saudi?
Thank you. Just a question about putting them up. Do you want us to, can we start sending people to this website now to start filling in information, or do you want us to go through staff partners first?
In terms of submitting roles?
Yeah.
I think it would
great advice you
yeah,
probably get if you wanted to touch base initially.
Okay.
They may know things about the system specific to the branch area that you might be able to leverage, so a touch point to start wouldn't hurt, but once you know the drill, you can kind of use that liberty.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So then you guys also then have a list of people who've identified, I want to do something. So if other people want to go, they can say, well, is there anybody out there who's interested to do this? You can somehow kind of.
Yes, that is exactly the idea, is that this directory will talk to our alumni database. So when someone submits their interest here, then that information can be added to their record so that we know that Tim Turnbull has said, I'm interested in being a public speaker at AVS.
Or if Saudi's looking for some...
Separate question from that. With the university council, 4 people get elected, 65 come on, tons of great backgrounds. So are those people, are they somehow gathered?
Actually,
is somebody going to say, let's get those people somehow in here, can we engage them in some other way? Because for instance, the alumni board, we're always looking for recruits. And I just think, here's 65 people who said, I want to get involved.
there's a great example. Christy, do you mind if I put you on the spot?
Actually, it's your incoming president, George Jackson, who was speaking with Lon at an event a couple weeks ago, just before the election results came out, and the suggestion to actually let our unsuccessful candidates in the election know about this directory, and also a personal offer that we would introduce them to folks like Maryanne and Sarah, should they wish to be further involved with the university. Because one of the things we see with council is it's a very visible opportunity, so people will gravitate towards it, but there's so many more opportunities that people might be equally interested in and well suited for. So we're trying to, as much as we can, facilitate and redirect some of the disappointment perhaps from the election to more opportunities at Queen's.
Oh, good. Because when someone says, pick me, it's like, sure, let's do something great.
And we can pull based on geographical locations. So if you're looking for people specifically in Toronto or Calgary or wherever, we can mine this data to bring forward those folks who have indicated interest in a specific area.
Is there an opportunity or benefit in seeing existing volunteers join the database, especially for folks who are looking to expand opportunities or be considered for other?
We have you, actually. What we've done is we have existing coding, so we know that you're the branch president. We've aligned the way that this speaks to the database so that those things connect. So it's not going to be unknown information. It's going to be coded in such a way where it'll be familiar. So we have you.
Everybody?
Every volunteer that we know of. But if you had additional interests, that would be a good opportunity to go in and submit a general interest form, so we might know, we think we know what Zowdy's interested, but maybe he wants to do all of these other things. Now I realize we're technically out of time, so we don't want to keep you beyond time, but we just have a couple little housekeeping things. There is a bus, the tour trolley, the Kingston tour trolley is actually going to be running a shuttle to and from campus to the Isabel Bader Center tours. So you can get to Grad Bash, or the Agnes Etherington Arts Center is offering free admission to our alumni volunteers over the next 2 days. Or if you're scheduled to attend a tour, you can hop on the bus and do that, or attend Grad Bash. You'll notice in your package you received a Tricolor outlet coupon. Feel free to drop by the Tricolor outlet, second floor of the JDUC, to use that. And I think that was it. Okay, great. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks.